Hey everyone, I wanted to give an update on my plotter usage this year. A few videos ago, I gave an overview of how I use a plotter as an everyday carry system. And in that video, I kind of talked a lot about how I use it for kind of planning out my week spiritually, and how I kind of incorporated a lot of spiritual direction into that. I'm still using my plotter a lot for kind of a spiritual notebook system, but I've changed it up a little bit. I'm not really using the plotter as much for kind of daily planning because the ring size is kind of small for my needs of kind of just an everyday carry system for all aspects of my life. I've kind of moved over to the Mi Plus. I just got this recently, and it has 16 millimeter rings instead of the 11. So I'll do a review of that later in another video. But today I wanted to talk about my plotter usage. So recently I started going to weekday mass, which is basically a shorter version of a Sunday mass. Sunday masses normally run about an hour long, and weekday masses normally run about 30 minutes long, and they have shorter readings to it. But I've been able to go to weekday mass on my lunch break from work. So I decided to kind of morph my notebook, my ring-bound notebook system, into kind of a daily mass system. So I wanted to show this to you today. Like the last video, I have this little pocket insert here where I have a few items. I still have my first Saturday devotion here. I haven't really been practicing the first Saturday devotion like I used to, but it's something that I still want to take up. And maybe I can start that in 2026. So I still use the plotter to document my spiritual direction questions. It's a good way for me to kind of reflect throughout, since I meet with my spiritual director once a month. It's a good way to reflect throughout the month of what I'm going to talk to her about in our sessions. So, mostly what got me started for using a plotter for daily mass is since the daily mass starts right at noon, and everybody's there ready to pray. We normally pray what's called the Angelus prayer. And it's not a prayer that I memorize. It's traditionally done at noon every day. And but I don't have it memorized. And we have little missalettes in our church, but I thought it would be a cool way for me to just write it down and have it there with me all the time. So when Mass starts and we pray this prayer, I can just open it up quickly to the page where we start praying. So I'm kind of using this as a, I guess you could say, like a commonplace book. I like to put a lot of quotes in here, just to kind of ground me throughout the week, especially at Mass. So, as you can see, as I flip through here, you're going to see a lot of quotes, along with a lot of doodles too. But I think the Bible size is a good way to just kind of have something to carry with you. It's not too big, like an A5 size, but it's also not too small, so you have some room to write down things throughout your periodically throughout your week. So this is a great size for me to kind of use as a catch-all, as a commonplace book for quotes and prayers, traditional prayers. So this is the Anima Christi prayer. This is something that's traditionally said. And you can say it anytime, but it's traditionally said after you take communion. So I like to have that down. So it's nice to reflect on that when I go to daily mass. So yeah, so different prayers, quotes, and different Bible passages that are important to me, I like to put in here too. But, so the back here, I still like using the project managers. And I was thinking, what would I put in here that needs to be separated from the rest of the binder itself. And one of the things that came to me was I wanted to start praying novenas, which is basically like a set of prayers that you pray, every day for like 9 days. It's just kind of a way to focus on a specific, if you wanted to ask for the intercession of a specific saint or pray a certain, in a certain style for 9 days. Novenas are a great way to do that. So I decided to write out the days, the daily prayers for, so this one is the Novena to St. Joseph. And I decided to write out the reflections for the novena and then put it in a specific project manager folder. And I thought that would be a cool way to kind of separate out the novenas. So this one is the Novena to St. Joseph, and they're going to have different reflections for each day. So you basically reflect on, a certain aspect for each day, and then you ask, you basically ask for prayers, requests for that day. So this is the Novena to St. Joseph. This project manager has the Surrender Novena, which is basically a reflection on surrendering to God more, reflecting on, how much control we really don't have, and how we can grow our relationship to God by understanding releasing that control to Jesus. So each day of the Surrender Novena is basically a reflection on how God is in control and I'm not. And so I like writing out the novenas because it's a good way. It's almost like I'm praying twice. Like I'm preparing for the novena itself by just writing it out, and then it's all here, ready for me to go for the right day. So I'm still writing this one out. I think it's a 9-day novena. I'm on day 6, and I have day 7 written out, but I need to get 8 and 9 done. So basically, like I said, you reflect on the topic of each day, and then at the end of the reflection, you say, "Oh Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything," 10 times. And then in the very back here is where I keep an archive of my spiritual direction questions. So at the front, I had December. I don't think I wrote out November's. Actually, I don't think we met in November. So that's why I don't have November here. But the last one I did was October, and it goes, I don't have all of them, but it goes back to February. So anyway, it's a great way to kind of archive that and have that for reflection. And then in this one is an envelope folder. I want to put stuff in here. I just trying to figure out what I want to use that. But anyway, I like it. I like that I'm using this specifically for kind of just spiritual reflection and daily mass versus using it as an all-in-one. Because like I said, the plotter system only has 11mm rings, and it was kind of getting a lot to put everything in there. And the plotter system is based on the fact of you just have what you need for the day, and then you take out what you don't need, which is good. I don't want a huge ring binder system, but my brain can't handle like deciding every single day what I need to take out and put in. So I think this is a good way to kind of mitigate that, but still use it in a very meaningful way. In the future, maybe in 2026, I'd like to possibly like write down the readings of the day. I have a missal that I take with me that incorporates all of the mass readings, but it might be kind of cool to jot down, what the readings are for each day, and then move those. I think incorporating the plotter for a specific scenario like this is helpful because I can still use its flexibility. I can still move pages out, move pages in, but I don't have to do it all the time. I don't have to do it every single day. It's something that I can kind of move in and out quarterly. So I'm not having to constantly think like, what do I need to take out, and suddenly get overwhelmed by the fact that my notebook is stuffed. So I like the plotter, but that's kind of the one downside I have. And that's why I decided for the rest of my planning to move on to the Mi Plus. So this is the Personalized Mi Plus with 16mm rings. So this is where I have my my calendar. So I have a 2026 plotter. So I still use the plotter inserts in the Mi Plus. I still really enjoy the plotter inserts. But I'm able to kind of quickly glance through a calendar. I've got people's Christmas gifts, to-do lists, just kind of send, and I use the project manager folders for, you know, this is my these are my business ideas. And then I've got this project manager for my work, just a to-do list and tasks. So I work in an industry that, I think I said this in a previous video, I work in an area that you have to kind of put out a lot of fires. And so it can get really daunting to keep track of what you actually have to do throughout a day without getting distracted. So using a project manager folder for different projects and ideas is really helpful for me. So I've got notebook sizes here. I'm going to be making a video soon of how to make different pocket folders, like my last rotor fodden video. And then these are different notebook sizes to make your own notebooks. So just different areas of my life that I need to kind of keep track of. And so I'm enjoying this so far. Like I said, I just got it, so I'm interested in. But so far, I'm really enjoying the 16mm rings. So I've been moving. I still like having bound books for journaling and kind of more creative expression, but I'm starting to realize that when I really need to sit down and get organized and really plan out things, rings are, you know, rings are the best for me at this point in time. So I'm enjoying the flexibility of it. If I can kind of get my brain to kind of segment off and say, okay, you can still use A5 notebooks, but these are for journaling and creative expression. And then you'd use the rings for when you need to organize and move pages around and really get your head together. That's going to be more helpful for me. So, and I'm coming around to that. And so far, the 16mm rings, I think, is kind of the sweet spot for me with that. So, these are some stickers I made. I thought the lifter here was a good spot to put some stickers. And I like typewriters, so I definitely have a typewriter sticker here. And I got a little Canon printer to print out some of my photographs that I've taken over the years. And I'm just trying to personalize it. I may put some holy cards in here. So I'm going to be using this somewhat for creative expression and, you know, spirituality too. But mostly this is going to be like, you know, just my day-to-day getting things done. So overall, I'm very pleased with this, and I am looking forward to using this in 2026. This is going to be used in conjunction with the rotor fodden and the Wonderland 222 planner that I talked about in my last video. That's going to be specifically for time blocking. I don't really need to time block in here. This is mostly just like lists of things that I really need to nail down, and these are things that I just basically need to nail down and reference quickly. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This is kind of a quick deep dive into my ring binder systems. Like I said, you know, you don't have to use what I use. You don't have to buy expensive binder systems. You don't, you know, you can use whatever. There's so many different systems out there in all different price ranges that are just as useful as these. So please don't look at my video thinking that you have to buy what I buy, especially when it comes to, you know, your religious and spiritual development and stuff like that. It's so use whatever you can afford. The point is to journal and grow as a person. So don't worry about what you're using. Don't worry about what paper you're using, you know, how pretty it is. Though I like, you know, pretty things and making pretty pages, that's not the point of all of this. So just a good reminder for everyone. Journaling is good no matter where you do it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below, and have a great one. Bye.